I'm Rounaq. I'm a senior lecturer in farming systems at Bristol, and I am a Just Transitions champion at the AFN network. I started in the space of organizational culture and how we can better understand people that work in any sector. So basically in the food sector, but whether it's food safety or food production, whatever it is, how do you involve people that are on the front line in the decision-making process? In terms of next steps, I'm trying to understand what it means to the various people in the agri-food sector in the context of net zero or wider, and what are the principles of achieving just transitions, what are the building blocks of ensuring just transitions in agri-food. And along with that, I'm also looking at EDI. So by EDI, again, I mean equitability, diversity and inclusion as opposed to equality. So going forward, again, looking at how can we incorporate the principles of EDI into the agri-food systems in the UK, but also the wider global supply chain. As a part of the AFN, I think it helped me channel systems thinking, agri-food systems, and involving lived experience voices along with policy making into the same conversation, especially when it comes to technical expertise. I felt that the network has quite a large number of people that have expertise in a specific area, so be it technology development or policy development. There's also some from, say, for example, the farming background. And it's unrealistic to expect everyone to have experience in everything, but just taking that step back and thinking about the diverse groups, the diverse experiences, the diverse expertise, and how we could be inclusive of that beyond I would say the core group of AFN that organizes these events would be the next step forward. So there's one, for example, in particular, I remember last year in Bristol, there was an event where the whole day was facilitated by, I think, a couple of expert facilitators. So just acknowledging the fact, and the way they facilitated that event was acknowledging the fact that, again, people were different. Some people were more vocal in groups, some were not as vocal, but the way they brought about these people discussing things in groups, and then one person spoke out about it. Everyone felt involved, and I think that event really stuck in my head. And then the more I looked into it, the more I looked at different methodologies of involving people, of being inclusive in events. Because I think as a researcher, the methods I most commonly used was interviews, focus groups, or Delphi approaches, which is kind of where you interact with either the same group of people, or there's a very structured way of interacting with people. But ever since coming across EDI and its principles, I've looked at more methodologies. So liberating structures is one. We've incorporated quite a few approaches today in some of the group discussions that took place, where everyone had a chance to reflect on a question by themselves, and then they took part in discussion, but in pairs. So even people that might not be as confident in speaking for whatever reason could share their views and opinions. People are different. People would require different levels of support. So it's not just about making sure that everyone is a part of an activity or a set of interventions or policy design or whatever it is, but that different communities, and within those communities, different subsets of people would have different requirements, different levels of support needed. So these are things we need to consider right from the start. And that, to me, is equity, or rather social equity.